How many of you remember Happy Home Designer? Remember building a hospital, a school, a music hall, a department store, a cafe, and a restaurant? Well, I've got news for you. You're gonna really want to hear this because it seems like Animal Crossing New Horizons could be cooking up some type of comeback. Based on new data mines we have just discovered, this is interesting and it involves villager jobs and what that could mean for the next big AC update. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Wake the heck up! It's time to talk about some really big stuff, all right? This is super intriguing, and we actually have a few more interesting data mines to discuss in terms of what they mean for the game. So make sure to get your voices heard in the comments down below. Let me know if you would be pumped for this to happen, and when you find out what I'm talking about, let me know what you think exactly is going on, all right? And then if you want to pop this balloon, where is it? Balloon, hit that like button. Hit it to pop the balloon, okay? Thank you. Goodness gracious, getting my heart racing. But what also got my heart racing after the recent 1.11 update and subsequent data mine was discovery of more Museum Cafe stuff. Talking about Brewster coming back, and it feels like that is going to happen because they brought in so many lines about, hey, adding a third section to the museum, adding an entrance to the Museum Cafe, and villager dialogue specifically regarding a chain about building up the Museum Cafe. That's not what I want to talk to you about today, though. Instead, I want to talk to you about doctors and nurses and school children. You might remember Happy Home Academy. If you haven't played it, it was a game on the 3DS, and it focused on building up happy homes. But there also were public works projects where you could build buildings and villagers would work in them. So there was a hospital where you'd have doctors and patients, there was a schoolhouse, and eventually there was a department store, a music hall, and a hotel. Now, something very interesting has been spotted from Stony, one of the Animal Crossing data miners, saying that female villagers had nurse's dress uniform and nurse's cap, and male villagers had nurse's jacket, and both genders had doctor's coat. Now, of course, we know that we can gift our villagers any sort of clothing that we want, but inherently, they don't have specific types of clothing tied to them. They don't have uniforms tied to villagers. That's not something that is in Animal Crossing New Horizons, but it is something that was in Happy Home Designer. All right, so this is very odd. There's no sort of hospital in ACNH as of yet. Why would they be specifically getting nurse and doctor attire? That's not like anything that we've seen thus far in New Horizons. But there is more, because earlier this month, Stony also discussed an after-school jacket for jock and cranky villagers, a school jacket for lazy and smug, and a sailor's tee for female villagers that he speculated could be school uniforms. So now we have hospital gear and we have school gear, which are two of the popular public works projects from Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer. And then I think about Doug Bowser saying new and fun activities are coming to the game. Jobs, activities, those almost feel like the same thing. So I find this super fascinating. And there's even more to fill you in on. But first, while we wait for this next update, maybe you're looking for another Animal Crossing type game to play, and I gotta share this one with you. It's raining, it's pouring, my carrots are growing. This is Katari Fables, a new game on Nintendo Switch that, if you're an AC fan, this is right up your alley. In fact, it kind of feels like a step up in some ways, all right? Because there's not only farming and cute animal villagers, you don't have just a home and a bed, but there's also combat and a ton of quests. So it's a different and more focused experience. Honestly, a lot of things that you've come to see and love in Animal Crossing. And so that's why I feel like it's right in the same vein. It's got a whole day-night cycle. It's got weather. So like, you're gonna feel at home. You know, you can go in here and craft different foods like apple pies and cookies. Everybody's just so cutesy adorable here. The little mice, the little bunnies. We got dogs and we got tigers. We got big bears. So big thanks to my friends at PCube for sponsoring today's video. Make sure to click the link in the description down below to check out Katari Fables. Every time you click that link, it helps support the channel. And I genuinely think you might fall in love with this game, all right? It's a good price point. The map is huge. There's a ton of content, and it really does kind of feel like Animal Crossing Boosted Edition, right? Specifically because of this really cool combat. And I thought it'd be fun to just give you guys a little intermission and show you all that the game had to offer between the farming, the villages, and then the fighting, which, you know, I've heard some of you say you want some fighting in Animal Crossing. It's not coming, but you can definitely find it here. These forest golems pack a big mean punch. I'm gonna pop them. Okay, we gotta isolate this one. Nope. Stay away from your friends. You ain't got no friends in me. This ain't Toy Story. All right, I think I got him. I think I can do it. Yep. Big slash is my big sword. I've upgraded my weaponry, so I'm dealing the damage that I need to finish the... No, don't heal him. Oh, he just healed him at the last second. That's where this gets exciting. All right, there's boss battles. Also, you fight evil onions, which, you know, I think that's appropriate. Onions can be deadly. Also, man-eating plants. So I gotta head to the swamp to collect some shells to complete this bridge project. But that's Katari Fables. Click the link in the description down below and let me know what you think. Now, what would this mean for New Horizons, and how would they use it in this game? Well, there's not a lot of space on our island to build much of anything. So could it be that the villagers are just getting a big personality boost? Well, yeah, it really could be, because that's something that players have wanted for a long time. I know a lot of you have requested, hey, I want the villagers to do more. I want them to say more, to interact more, to become better friends, right? I want to hug them. I want to high five them. I want to sit next to them, lick popsicles with them, and maybe learn more about their lives and their wants and their dislikes. I think that jobs would be a great way, although I don't see how it would fit except attire. Like, now they just wear different stuff. It doesn't really seem to have much logic behind it except a fun cosmetic choice. So then I think about, where could they implement a hospital and a school? And hey, there's more, because Stoney also uncovered diner uniform and hula top that he thinks could be used for a cafe or something for female villagers. Again, utilizing this uniform word that we just have not seen really appear in Animal Crossing New Horizons. These uniforms that seem tied to a specific function. So I think about another island. I think about a place where villagers could perform these jobs, and I think about you building up another locale where you could build more public works type projects and maybe fill out a big island like we've dreamed for quite a while. A big island where there's more shopping, a big island where there is a hospital, a big island where maybe, you know, some of the characters like Harriet and Lottie and Digby reappear and we see them once again. Now, could Brewster be on this big island? Probably not, since everything tied to the cafe has also involved the words museum. It really seems like Brewster is going to reside inside the museum cafe. But I find these villager job references so intriguing and so interesting, because that's the type of big expansion that really would change the game, right? It's not just items, it's not just a character, it's not just one and done type features. It's something that really would allow for hundreds more hours of gameplay. If there was a completely separate big island where you could go play and partake in a real Animal Crossing world, something more than just your island, that would take the scope of this game to a whole nother level, and that would be the type of massive 2.0 that we've really hoped for and maybe just couldn't perfectly picture as of yet. I mean, let me know in the comments down below if villager jobs and kind of bringing over elements from Happy Home Designer would get you going, if that would reinvigorate your Animal Crossing flame. And then think about, what if they just decided to take Happy Home Designer and incorporate a ton of it into ACNH? Like, what if they just chalked on a whole Happy Home Designer expansion and brought in all those villager requests, all that design focus into this game? Since we have so many awesome items, so many fantastic DIY, and such a beautiful world to look at, it feels like that could be like serendipitously perfect to unite what once was tied to New Leaf and now bring it aboard our New Horizons. I don't know about you, but that gets me super excited. Now, we'll have to wait and see what Nintendo does with these unique uniforms that they've placed inside the code, and I'll definitely keep you posted if I find out more. But there's actually something else I want to discuss with you, because there's a lot just going on in the data that feels like it's leading to something, building to the big one, the thing we've been waiting for. I mean, we've talked before about how fortunes have appeared. There's mentions in the 1.11 Datamine of fortune friendship and fortune item that we think is tied to Katrina, but could it also be tied to villagers and new routines, behaviors, personalities, jobs? It it very well could. I want to talk about something that kind of went a little bit under the radar, which was this addition of new weather patterns. They actually added 3 new weather patterns. And if you're not familiar, weather patterns, each island has its own. Like, that's what helps define when you're going to have rain, when you're going to have sun, when you're going to have shooting stars. And there's a really cool app called Meteonook where you can input your island and kind of get your pattern and then figure out exactly and predict when you're going to have what type of weather. Well, apparently they added fine 07, rain 06, and rain 07, although they're not implemented yet. Now, this could be nothing. It could be a way for the game to just kind of spice up the weather life. I've seen some people say that they feel their weather is really boring and they don't have like the cool thunderstorms or the fog like some other islands like to get. But maybe there is a bit more here. And I've seen some speculation that this could indeed relate to gyroids. Now, why gyroids? Well, 1, gyroids are on the mind because that is a Brewster type topic, and 2, because gyroids are usually dug up after rainy or snowy weather. In fact, a lot of other people have been speculating that maybe this is tied to gyroids, although I have to point out that Stoney, the same data miner that dug up the things about uniforms, says he does not think that the new weather patterns are related to gyroids. But Stoney, I want to present some new evidence because I was digging through the past, right? You know, I like to really look to the past for past precedent and facts and figures and fun stuff that might connect together. And I found in the Animal Crossing New Horizons guidebook released last year, there was a surprising section that caught some players off guard. I'm going to present it to you now. This section was in the official Animal Crossing New Horizons guidebook, and it was about gyroids, which are not in the game. It said gyroids only appear in the ground after it has been raining. Lloyd, on the other hand, appears anytime you need him. Does that make him a superhero? Now, could this be something that was hinting towards the future or discussing a feature that had not yet been implemented? Why would the ACNH guidebook discuss gyroids only appearing in the ground after it has been raining? Is that a way that they are going to incorporate gyroids besides within Brewster's Cafe? Also a new thing to dig up in the same way that we find fossils in those peculiar shaped holes. Well, I wonder if this rainy weather edition is in fact connected. And it seems like a lot of things are riding on this next update. We have many interesting data mines, some that have tied back very many updates, right? We've seen Museum Cafe stuff for months and months and months now. Back last year and far back towards the beginning of this game's life cycle. And they've continued to update and most recently added a lot of stuff about museum dialogue and building that cafe. So I feel like that is coming. This job stuff, that is like a bigger iceberg, right? There's a little bit at the surface, the stuff about the nurses, right? The stuff about after school uniforms, the stuff about diner uniforms. But what could be beneath that might be the most impressive and surprising Animal Crossing event yet. Could Happy Home Designer be returning in Animal Crossing New Horizons? That's what I want you guys to think about today, and let me know how you'd feel about that in the comments down below. If Happy Home Designer was the sort of framework and focus for the big Animal Crossing update, the new activities, the more content, all that we've been waiting for, how would you feel? So let me know, hit that like button. I hope you all are doing wonderful out there and having a fantastic day. I love talking about this game with you guys, and I can't wait to play some new stuff soon. So fingers crossed, I will keep you posted. Until next time, everybody, I love you a lot. Have a fantastic, wonderful, safe, happy, healthy, productive, positive, awesome day. And until next time, SwitchForce out.